when I left, and again, when I left the WWE and when I crossed over, when the wrestling wars started and the guys were, going to work for the other company,
Mm-hmm.
and and again, another conversation. I should have just gone to Vince. I always felt like, well, this guy is putting me, I am not an active talent anymore, and he's done this with me, and he's done this with me. So he's found a place for me, commentary, okay, manager, whatever. And of course, I was grateful for that. But going back on the road was, that was a thing, and then I did have that conversation with Vince later. Going back on the road was danger for me, because going back on the road was, back to that lifestyle where it's the next show, the next town. And, I didn't, it's kind of like, if you want to avoid trouble, then, stay away.
Yep.
So I didn't want to go back to that. And I guess that was like kind of a fear I had. And ultimately everything worked out, but yeah, I just, the road's a dangerous place. The road is where all the hell broke loose. And, and it's kind of like, and you got to look at it this way. If you're, like if you're traveling like we did, and you get, and you go to some event, and there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of people and everything. The event's over, and you go back to an empty hotel room every night.
That's tough.
Yeah, I mean and especially when the good time is just downstairs in the lobby.
A lot of fans are going to hear this and say like, oh, well, these guys just couldn't control themselves. Picture being in like your 20s, maybe early 30s, something like that. And you're around a bunch of guys all the time, like your buddies. It's like college. It's essentially, it would be the same kind of setting where it's like just a bunch of guys out on the road. You're going to drink. You're probably going to experiment with drugs. Women are going to get involved. It's not an easy lifestyle to avoid. It's really not.
Yeah.
Well, Ted, you and I are having a blast here.
I'll be honest with you. Sometimes you can even go to your room. And I can remember one instance, just etched in my memory. There's a knock on my door. And when I opened my door, Marcus, there was a girl standing in front of my door at the hotel. And she had, she had her clothes in her hand. I mean, she was
my gosh,
butt naked at the door. And I said, "What?" And I just slammed the door. I mean, it's like, that's, like,
man, imagine avoiding, like, restraining yourself, guys out there listening to this, like that would be really, really tough.
Well, yeah. And especially, I mean, and again, people have heard my story. It was an issue for me at one time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big issue with me, and I didn't want to go there again. Melanie and I had weathered the storm, and by the grace of God, a woman who should have left me stayed and gave me another chance. And I said, I am not going to blow this, and so I shut the door in her face.